G'day, I'm Mark from Self-Sufficient Me, and in this video I'm going to share with you my most favourite video that I've ever made. Now you can thank Adam from Allotment Grow How over in the UK for this video, because he not only gave me a fantastic shout out, which I much appreciate, but he nominated me for this challenge of talking about your most favourite video. And I readily accepted it because I think I've got a fairly cool story. Well, I think it's good, and I think you might be interested in listening or hearing about it. Also, after this short story, I'm going to nominate 3 channels of my own, channels that I really like to watch, and I think that you will as well. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's get into it. So I started YouTubing in 2011, and from memory, my first video was the goanna video. Goanna in a chicken tractor. I don't think I was in it, but I was filming it, and what happened was, this is the time of year for them as well, a goanna, which we're always fighting with here, our goannas and chickens, because they're after the eggs, got into our chicken tractor. And we used to have, when we first got here, a chicken tractor instead of the coop and the pen. We evolved into that. But so the goanna got into the chicken tractor and was eating the eggs. I found him in there and I shut the door. Then I eventually got him out. I don't show that part in the video. I capture him. I really should have. In hindsight, what I know now about YouTube and video creation and that type of thing, I would have filmed the whole thing, but I just explained what I would do, and I just talked about the goanna and what he had done, and I showed evidence of him eating the eggs and that type of thing. But anyway, that was the first video I made, and that was on the back of me creating a blog called Self-Sufficient Me, and I did that for initially just to share information with friends and family. But I soon had a dream, or developed a dream, that I could become a content creator online. And even in 2011, it was a bit of a weird thing to think about, having a career online, writing, and not being a designated writer, so not being a novelist or anything, but having a career online, writing, sharing information out of nowhere, was still seen as a little bit aspirational, let's put it that way. But of course, as we know today, just a few years later, we know that it's a booming space where lots of creators now, and calling them influencers and that type of thing, are making videos and making a good living online out of it. So back then, I was thinking ahead of the future, and I was wondering if I could transform from my home dad, when the boys were old enough, instead of going back into the workforce and working for somebody, I might have a crack at doing it myself. So my big dream was becoming a content creator back in 2011. And then for the next 5 years, I worked hard and I toiled away online, and eventually in 2016, around June, I reached the milestone of 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. And that was a big milestone for me. 1,000 subscribers is fantastic. 1,000 people subscribe to your content is a really terrific thing. It's filling a local school hall of people. But 10,000, you're starting to get into, a cricket ground, a football stadium, and there you go. So I was really happy with that. But then that realization sort of came crashing down on me only a few weeks later, where I'd reached that milestone of 10,000, and I really still wasn't, pushing my channel. The realization didn't meet the dream. So my dream of becoming a successful content creator after 5 years was starting to wane, to put it mildly. And I made that video then a few weeks later, after my 10,000 video, Self-Sufficient Me, the end, where I was seriously contemplating ending my content creation career and just keeping it as a hobby, and then going out and working and getting like a real job. And that was sad for me. But being a realist, I just had to come to terms with it, and that was all about it. Anyway, earlier, and this is where I'll get to my favourite video, a few weeks earlier, I'd actually made a video called How to Grow a Ton of Lemons. And it got an okay response, but practically didn't go really anywhere. And then I sort of forgot about it, and I made that video of Self-Sufficient Me, the end, basically starting to make plans to get back into the workforce, maybe study, maybe get some qualifications up. And a few months went by, and it was October when I suddenly saw a spike in my subscriber count and views, a significant spike that I'd never seen before. And I had a look, and my subscribers for the day was over 100, which was great for my channel back then. And I was thinking, what's going on here? Anyway, I tracked it back, of course, and it was the How to Grow a Ton of Lemons. It had sort of gone just okay, pretty much the same as most of my other videos, up until October. So from June, when I released it, several months later, in October, it somehow got spiked. And you know, it wasn't a huge spike, but it was enough to start driving the views of my channel, and really reinvigorated me. And I thought, hang on, this could still be on the cards. A career as a content creator, you know, could still work here. So it motivated me to keep going. Long story short, I spent the next 12 months not realizing what I'd had and what I'd done with that video. I spent the next 12 months putting out content that I thought people would like. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of that content I was very proud of. Every video I put out, I do my best effort on. And my viewership and subscriber count grew moderately, and it was okay, but still it really wasn't punching through, even though I had the success of that Lemons video, which is now over 1 million views. And I was wondering then, 12 months later, almost to the day, what was it that spiked that success earlier on, and why haven't I got that sort of same success throughout that next 12 months? Why did it peter off? And I thought, well, let's just revisit that video that started it and have a look at it. And it was, of course, you could see it right now that it was obvious, but to me it just wasn't. I guess you sort of, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. But then it dawned on me, it was the format of the video. How to grow a ton of. There was a good thumbnail, there was good information, it was fairly succinct, it was enjoyable, I was bubbly, and I thought to myself, why don't I just replicate that with something else that I grow well? And I thought, let's make a How to Grow a Ton of Ginger. About 2 days after making that video and uploading it online, we had to go overseas. We were lucky enough to be invited to a wedding over in Edinburgh, at Edinburgh Castle over in Scotland. How good is that? A wedding at Edinburgh Castle with a personal viewing of the crown jewels. Not mine, but of the Queen's crown jewels. And it was fantastic. A really great trip. On the way over there, we stopped in Dubai, and we were there in the airport waiting. I hooked up to the Wi-Fi system, and my phone just went nuts bananas. Ding, 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 ding. All these messages, and I mean, I went, what's going on here? It was all about the how to grow a ton of ginger video. It skyrocketed. I went and checked out my subscriber count. 1,000 subscribers one day. It was going crazy. I'd refresh it every half an hour or so, and the subscriber count would go up by another 100. So it just took off like crazy. I said to Nina in the airport there, I said, you're not going to believe this. I go away, I can't do anything about this. I've got no camera gear or anything. I just got a phone. I can't even capitalize on this success, but this video is going nuts. And so I was very happy with that. But that all came off the back of that How to Grow a Ton of Lemons video. So that's why it's my favorite, because it was that video that sort of tipped the scales for me. And that's my story of my most favorite video that I've ever done. So now let's get on to the 3 channels that I want to nominate to do this challenge also. The first channel I want to nominate is Little Beans Garden. Selem, she's a really bubbly personality. She's very active in the gardening community, and I see her comments often on my videos, and they're always bubbly and helpful. If you look at her videos, they're quite well constructed too. A lot of gardening knowledge, and tries lots of little experiments in the garden. And so I really recommend her channel, Little Beans Garden. The second channel I'd like to nominate for this challenge is Homesteading Down Under. Yes, it's an Australian channel, and it's based in Tasmania. John runs it. He's a wealth of knowledge, a really good presenter, and he gets fantastic results. He explains in his videos how he gets these results really well. I remember a video he did not so long ago about tree felling, and I just enjoyed the way that he went about explaining it in a real practical sense. And he does that for all his vids. I think this latest one, as it stands now, is on garden soil and that type of thing. Wealth of knowledge, check it out, Homesteading Down Under. And the third channel is Allotment Life by Brian. Now this guy, I really just love his approach and his channel. He has a disability, I'm sure he probably wouldn't mind me saying that, and it's admirable how he gets around and how he presents his wonderful looking allotment, and the results that he gets as well is fantastic. Again, lots of knowledge, active in the community, great bloke, and I'd just like you to visit his channel and subscribe and give him a little bit of love. Anyway, so that's it. That's my story on the favourite video that I've ever made and my nominations. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big green thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel too if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now.